Hello, everybody. Welcome to the MTG Place podcast. I'm your host, Corey. With me, like always, is Josh. How's it going, Josh?
What's up, everybody?
Before we jump into the main topic here, this show is sponsored by Ironguard Supplies. We love their sleeves, top loaders, and accessories. Get 20% off at ironguardsupplies.com using coupon code MTG Place.
Yeah, and this is our part 2 of our MH3 commander cards. So if you want to check out the part 1, check out that video before. But today, we're going to talk about the multicolored cards and the colorless cards, giving you our thoughts on the card design, where it lies in the Magic ecosystem. We'll be judging these mostly in a commander lens, but like Legacy and Cube in mind. Yeah, so we'll jump into the multicolored. We start off with Sphinx of the Revelation. 3 white blue for an artifact creature Sphinx, 4/5 flying lifelink. Whenever you gain life, you get that money energy. You can pay a white, blue, tap, pay amount of energy to draw X cards.
So, Sphinx res on creature with energy.
Yeah, it's not quite what Isagor. There was a Sphinx before in Ixalan that could like Sphinx rev on itself. This one doesn't need to be part of the energy deck right away, right off the bat. That's not our boon that we were saying last time. This only works in the energy deck.
Yeah, because just whenever you gain life.
This is a gain life. Plus, it already has lifelink, so it can self-sustain itself. Like, this is a standalone, pretty decent card.
5 mana, 4/5 flying. Yeah, it's a pretty good Sphinx.
Like, not bad. I don't think.
I play it.
If you're gaining life anyway, like...
If you're in a life gain deck, it's good. Energy deck, it's good. If you're in a Sphinx deck, it's good. If you're in blue-white, maybe you play it. Depends on if you want a 5-drop.
Yeah, if you want more creature-type card draw. Seems fun.
Seems cool. Alright, next up we have Exterminator Magmarch. 2 black, red for a 5/3 artifact Phyrexian Construct. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets only a single non-land permanent an opponent controls, if another opponent controls one or more non-land permanents that spell could target, choose one of those permanents. Copy that spell. The copy targets the chosen permanent. So you basically, if you bolt something, you bolt another thing?
Yeah, you get 1 copy. Yeah. Okay.
And then it has regenerate for 1 and a black.
So I liked Zada back in the day that targets like your whole entire board. That's your stuff. So you want to like buff it. This is more of, like you were saying, bolt another thing.
Yeah, so you target your opponent's stuff and it targets another one.
I'm wondering what is a really good like instant or sorcery that just has like incidental like tag on it. Like it's a lightning bolt, but it says like, I don't know, opponent discards a card.
I don't know. Oh, Blight. Well, Blightning doesn't target creatures.
True. Non-land permanent. Yeah, it needs to hit permanents. I feel like there's got to be...
Crackling Doom doesn't target, right? So... I mean, it's you just double up your removal is good already.
Yeah, that's already good. I'm thinking they could get broken, though. I don't know right now. I need to look at the cards, but I bet there's something that's just nasty with this.
Yeah, there's probably something.
Yeah. So I'd be on the lookout for this guy.
I mean, also, if you have, like, what's it, Willbender or whatever, where you gain control of their creature when you target it.
Yes.
You could just be like, all right, +1/+1 to that. Aha, now you get control of that.
Yes.
So it's not bad. I think it's pretty good. It's a 4-mana 5/3 with regen.
Yeah, it seems great. Move on to the Bloodbraid Challenger. 3 red-green for a 4/3 Elf Berserker with haste and cascade. And it also has escape for 3 red-green by exiling 3 other cards from your graveyard. So
Okay,
Bloodbraid Elf,
Bloodbraid Elf costs 4. This costs 5,
yes,
and you can recast it.
but escape is huge.
Yeah, this is just better.
Yeah, I think so too. Just being able to have escape, like accidentally milling this, incidentally, not accidentally, and just being able to play this off. I think this is going to be a good cube card. Vintage cube,
Yeah, it could be okay.
4/3 haste. Get something else. What
Decent
flip
for
over?
aggro decks.
Yeah, you
I mean,
flip.
it's good. It's good in Commander where you could just like discard it and escape it pretty easy,
Yeah,
especially in Self now.
Commander's okay. It's just putting out a body though. A 4/3 haster is pretty decent in 1v1s.
I mean, it's not bad in free for all either.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends what you hit off the cascade, I guess.
I'm thinking like a Lelia on the top of my head. Another
That would be
haster.
nuts. Yeah.
I don't know. Uvenwald Oddity, a 4/4 haster.
Yeah.
Jund Vintage Cube. Crap.
Yeah. It seems good in cube when you for aggro. I like it.
Decent cards we're starting off with.
Next up, we got Infested Thranax.
Thranax.
Thranax, whatever. I don't know. 3 black, green for a 4/4 lizard with flash. When it enters the battlefield, at tone of turn, whenever a non-token creature you control dies, create a number of 1/1 green sapling creature tokens equal to that creature's power.
Wow. That like doesn't even like count like the board you have. Like you can start chaining other things. I'm saying like I don't know. You play another creature after that and sack it, then it still has.
I mean, it's also good in response to a board wipe. You get a bunch
Yes.
of tokens.
Yes, that's super fun.
I mean, itself would die too, but whatever.
Thinking
Cool artwork.
Thromac, the Insatiable, where he just gets huge. And you sack, make a bunch of them, and then you devour them all up again.
Yeah.
Some sort of chaining off of that. Seems like a good card. What these are good cards, man. Multicolor.
Cards.
All right.
Multicolor cards are good.
Yeah, usually gold cards are great because you need multiple colors to cast them. They're hard to cast. We'll move on to Aggressive Biomancy. XX green blue for sorcery. Create X tokens that are copy of target creature you control, except they have when this creature enters the battlefield, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control.
I mean, that's good, right? With base, it's a 4-mana clone that fights.
Yeah, but it's
one.
the thing I play clones with most is like since I'm playing commander, like I want to copy my opponent's stuff. Usually, this is you control, so this is kind of like win more. I'm looking at like if my opponent plays a dockside, I'd rather copy his dockside instead of like, oh, I already played my dockside. Why do I?
That's true. But I mean, if you could have doubling season 2, and then it's gonna be double.
Part of that.
It's good because it's removal on a clone. Like a lot of times, it's like, okay, do I play the clone or the removal here?
Yes, that's true.
But
that's true.
Like I would run this just over clone, over base clone, just because I have the upside of it fighting something. Like, yeah, I can only trade my stuff, but
yeah, I don't think I've played base clone in years.
Well, if you are, this is better.
Okay, yes. Sure, an alpha card. It's better. I don't know. I think this is definitely our worst card we've talked about today.
I don't know. I mean, if you dump like
True
8 mana into it or something, like it's like
10
that's
kind of crazy.
You could get something nuts.
It's got a high.
I mean, well, how much is Rite of Replication cost to play? If you do
9 mana to make the 5 tokens, or 4 mana for 1 token.
It's 9 mana.
9
so
mana.
This would be 10 mana for 4 copies. So I guess
Yeah.
right of application is still a little bit better.
Yeah.
But if you need a second copy of that effect with a fight on it,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, just once too. Like if you played what's the guy that fights me? Just like Kogla or something.
Yep. Kogla.
You could just like copy that, let the other one die, even if it's legendary, like whatever, and you get 2 fights.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be okay.
Yeah. It's okay. I still think it's the worst card we've talked about today.
Oh, it probably is, but I'm just saying it's good
Yeah.
to play.
It's got a high ceiling. I see it. It's great.
Next up, we got Jyoti, the Moag Ancient. 2 green blue for a 2/4 legendary creature elemental. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 forest, dryad, land creature token for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone this game. At the beginning of combat, land creatures you control get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is its power. Well, here you go. Now you can build your animate lands deck.
Yeah, this time in Simic wasn't. I think there was an Azorius guy that was like about putting +1/+1 counters on lands, animating lands.
Okay.
It was
Yeah,
like
I'm just thinking like you could play like all of the man lands, right?
yes,
Like
I
that would
love
be good
that.
with this.
I love that.
And then you could play the Dryad Arbor and the other spell that makes 1/1 forest dryads as well. The X spell.
Yeah, the X spell that would be crazy in this deck. It's enter the battlefield too. You can flicker him. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
The old guy is Norendar Royal Shaper, 3 white blue. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put 3 +1/+1 counters on a land. It becomes a
Okay.
creature. I guess
I
that's
like this. I like this better.
yeah. This you don't need that
You could
instant or sorcery.
flicker, and if they kill it, you get a second one. Like,
Right. Yeah.
and I mean, this could also just be some sort of weird Voltron deck too, where you just play this and then like animate a land, and then this in the land is just absurd.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you make this like a 8/4 or something,
Yeah. This is definitely a
and then
commander, though. This is ain't
yeah,
no
this
99.
only works in Commander. You're not playing it outside of that.
Well, yeah, or in like the 99 of a commander deck.
Yeah.
This has to helm to make
Well,
it.
you could play this in the 99 if you wanted to, but it's
What?
better at the helm, I think.
Yeah, what deck wants that though? I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you have like a 1 mana card or 2 mana card as a commander, you play it a lot. But
True.
yeah, you probably play this as the commander.
Yeah.
I like it though. It seems like a sweet deck.
All right, we'll move on to Omo, Queen of Vesuva. Wow, Vesuva's here. 2 and Simic, so green and blue, for a 1/5 legendary shapeshifter noble. Whenever Umo enters the battlefield or attacks, put an everything counter on each of up to 1 target land and up to 1 target creature. Each land with an everything counter on it is every land type in addition to its other types. Each non-land creature with an everything counter on it is every creature type. You can do some silly things with this.
Yeah.
So it counts Urza lands, counts Tron lands, all the super types.
Yeah. The gates.
Gates. This seems super fun. I'm this is up my alley type of craziness. But the thing is, like, you put like 1 everything counter like per turn, basically, which is pretty slow.
I
And
mean,
if someone pinpoints and kills Umo, those everything counters don't do anything
right.
unless Umo's on the
Unless you
battlefield.
play it back again, yeah. I
So
was
that
like, what if you just did like this and then you put like the best type of every creature type
yep, yep,
spells in? But then like they just kill this and like so you probably want like Maskwood Nexus and stuff too.
yep. Some coat of arms.
Yeah.
Yikes. Changeling.deck. Yay.
Next up, we got the Broodmate Tyrant. 4 black, red, green for a 5/5 dragon with flying. And when it enters the battlefield, you create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. Um, and it has Encore for 5 black, red, green. So it's like a more souped up of the original Broodmate Dragon.
Yes. Yeah. This time it's a tyrant.
Yeah, this time it's a Tyrant.
The Encore is sick. Like
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, Encore, you're going to get what, like 3 5/5s?
Yep. And then 3/5/5s attacking.
Yeah.
9.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that seems fun.
It seems cool. It's a cool Jund Dragon. It's not legendary, so you have to put it in like your dragon deck or something. But
Yeah. What
can't run
about
as the commander?
how good is 10 power flying on board for reanimating? Off of
It's
2
not bad.
5/5s, you reanimate this?
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's like budget level.
True. But
I
it's got
mean, it's decent with like flash.
yeah, yeah, it's a decent flash target. The part that it has Encore, which is kind of sick. Like that's a failsafe. Like I'm
Yeah, the
thinking,
Encore is awesome for commander.
yeah, for I'm thinking cube. Like if you reanimate this, like
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know, 8
I don't know if
mana,
you're gonna get to 8 land in cube though.
8 lands a lot. Yeah, you're right. All right, this is mediocre at best in that sense.
Great in commander though. Dragon deck.
We'll move on to Koram, the Undertaker. 1 black, red, green for a 0/5 legendary human warrior. Grom the Undertaker gets plus X attack, where X is the greatest power among creature cards in all graveyards. Whenever Crom attacks, each player mills a card. During each of your turns, you may play a land and cast a spell among the cards in graveyards that were put there from libraries this turn. That
So
seems
I played with him in the early access. That's not
okay.
bad. Like he's not bad.
Yeah.
I definitely think you could make some sweet commander deck around him because, like in early access, you're just playing him, right? Like, you just attack and you're like, okay, so everybody mills a card and I can play one of 2 cards.
Mm-hmm.
But it just says cards that were put through this turn. So if you have other ways to mill them, like you could have access to like play the best out of like 20 cards or something.
Right. Yeah, that seems super fun. My first thought.
Granted, a lot of the mill cards are blue, so you have to find the ones that are not blue.
Yeah, that is a thing. But you could just self-mill. Black does a lot of self-mill, and you could just start playing lands off of that. Don't have to worry about your opponents.
And you can play the artifacts that mill everybody.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of them. My first thought was Phyrexian Dreadnought, the 1 mana 12/12.
Oh yeah, just play it, let it sack.
And then he's got 12 power to attack.
12/5.
That seemed pretty good.
That is pretty good. Seems cool. Might be worth brewing around. Next up, we got Disa the Restless. It is 2 black, red, green for a 5/6 legendary creature human scout. Whenever a Lahugahoif permanent card is put into your graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, put it onto the battlefield. So if you mill it, you get it. And whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you create a Tarmogoyf token. All right, is this the commander for it, or is there a 5?
Yep. Yeah, this is the face of it. Yep. Yeah, so sick. Do we have to say Maskwood Nexus?
All of your creatures?
Everything is Solar Coif. Yeah, it seems fun. This seems like a really cool card.
That seems cool. Maybe I should switch because on my Corval deck I just get bored playing because it's just like too degenerate.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll switch it to like this.
It's Corvold, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is cool. This is old school if you love Tarmogoyf. Sick. We'll move on to the Gluttonous Hellkite. XX black, red, green. For a 3/3 dragon. When you cast a spell, each player sacrifices X creatures. Gluttonous Hellkite enters the battlefield with 2+1/+1 counters for each creature sacrificed this way. And it's got Flample. Flying Trample.
I mean, this seems good in Ur-Dragon, like, because everything costs one less already.
Oh, no. Yep.
4 mana, everyone sacks a creature, and this comes
Yeah.
in with, as like a. What is that? If there's 4 creatures sacked,
Yeah.
getting 8 counters, it's an 11/11 flying trample for 4.
Yeah, it's each player too, so
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Like, that's craziness, because in Ur-Dragon, it costs one, so you literally pay 4 mana for an 11/11 flying trample. If everyone has a creature out.
If you could just pay 2 more mana too, like they have to sack, everyone sacks 2 creatures.
Yeah, and then it's even more big. This
so
card is
doable.
nuts.
Ugh. Dragons, man. Dragons.
Dragons are so good. I love dragons. This card is awesome. Just eat them up.
Okay.
I mean, you're never gonna play it for just the 3, though, right? Like, why would
Oh,
like you're never
heck
just gonna play 3 for
no.
3. You have to
You
pay
would wait at least 2. I would wait those 2 turns. You got to sandbag that.
Yeah, like,
3
you gotta
turns.
at least pay 1 into X.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, this is a sweet card. But in Commander specifically, like outside of it, it's like medium. But
Yes. Outside, it's really bad. You grew up with Keith.
next up, we got what is that? Keith, famed mechanist. I don't know.
Yep.
1 and Jeskai for a 3/3 legendary creature dwarf artificer with fabricate 1. So when this creature enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on it or create a servo. And then other non-token creatures you control also have fabricate 1. So when they enter, you get to choose. And then it has pay 2, tap, choose 1, populate. So you populate a token or proliferate to make your counter more counters.
So I'm thinking artifact classic combo, which is Scrapwood Mutt, Scrapwood Trawler and Mirror Retriever
Mm-hmm.
with Kirkland Ironworks,
Mm-hmm.
and you just keep fabricating 1 and making servos during that.
Oh yeah,
I guess,
infinite servos.
yeah. I guess with that combo, you already have infinite mana, and like, why would you need to? I mean, this
I
is
mean,
still
you
a
could
way.
also have infinite servos
Yeah,
to win more.
I don't
I
know.
mean,
There's
you can kind of see this 2 ways too, right? Like you could play the counter way where you want to
Mhm.
proliferate over and over. You could
Yes.
play the make 1 big token way, which is what you want to populate. Because you don't really want to populate small tokens. You want to make
No.
1 like big thing.
I think that's like.
But I mean, like it also like if you just played like all like dinky creatures, you still would just swarm the board with 1/1s. Like
Mm-hmm.
it seems like good. Like there's like basically kind of 3 strategies you can play with it.
Yeah, that's usually bad. You don't want to be pushed and pulled to different types of strategies in your
Well, I
command.
mean, like you just said, obviously you're going to want to narrow on 1 for your deck.
Yeah,
You don't want
true.
to try and make the deck all 3.
True.
Like, there's
Yes.
3 different decks that this could be the head of, so this might become a popular commander.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Kind of like how Atraxa is really popular.
Yeah,
Because,
right.
You can use it in a lot of ways.
We'll move on to Satya, Aetherflux Genius. 1 in Jeskai for a 3/5 legendary human artificer. It's got menace, it's got haste. When Satya attacks, create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of 1 other target non-token creature you control. You get 2 energy. At the beginning of your next end step, sacrifice that token unless you pay an amount of energy equal to its mana value. That seems freaking sick. It's kind of
So
like,
it's like
Kiki.
yeah, it's like Kiki, or what was that last card that, or the saddle creature that was nuts in the last set?
Okay.
The red
horse.
one, the
horse.
horse, yeah, because you lost the tokens, right? Whereas
Yeah.
here, it's like if you have enough energy, you can just keep it. So
Mhm.
like you'd probably play this not an energy deck just to get the copy attacking. But if you're in like an energy deck, just being able to keep that token a couple times is nuts.
Insane, yeah. I'm still thinking cube, and my thoughts I keep running to cube. This seems pretty decent. Haste 3/5. Let's say you copy like, I don't know, I guess Lelia's legendary. the Goblin Bombardiers, the 2/2 haste menace.
Yeah, or like Monastery Mentor or something.
Because with the Bombardiers, you create that token, and then the original could sack the Bombardiers just to throw it at.
Yeah, that's true.
And it has haste all in like turn 4.
I mean, it's good with like Inferno Titan too. It's insane.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, dude. Seems 6. Any of the Titans. Seems like a cool card.
it's pretty cool.
It's
I
not
like it.
combo with Kiki Jiki, but it's
Yeah,
what the fun part of Kiki Jiki,
has Menace and Haste too.
Yeah, the haste is huge. Yeah.
All right, next up we got Angelic Aberration. So I think we're on the Devoid cards now.
Yep.
5 and a white for a 4/4 Eldrazi Angel with Devoid. Is flying and vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice any number of creatures, each with base power 1 or less, or toughness, base power or toughness 1 or less, so like your Scions or whatever. Create that many 4/4 colorless Eldrazi Angel creature tokens with flying and vigilance. So yeah, you turn all your Eldrazi spawn into 4/4s basically.
Yeah. This is super specific.
Yeah, you're gonna want. I mean, you're playing Eldrazi at this point. Like,
Yeah.
because I mean, like otherwise, it's like okay, sack my wimpy 1/1s. Like unless you make a lot of 1/1 tokens, it's basically just eat 1/1s, make them 4/4s.
I don't know. It's super specific. I don't really.
Like you have to turn what like 3 into it to make the 6 mana worth it, probably.
Yeah.
Because like just having 2/4/4 flying vigilance is like whatever. Nowadays, it's good, not that great.
All right. We'll move on to the Benthic Anomaly. 6 and a blue for a 7/8 Eldrazi Serpent with Devoid. When you cast this spell, for each opponent, choose a creature that player controls. Create a token that's a copy of one of those creatures, except its power is equal to the total power of those creatures. Its toughness is equal to the total toughness of those creatures. And it's a colorless Eldrazi creature. So you create a token that's a copy of like their abilities. Like say I wanted Urza.
Yeah.
But then I chose Dragon and something else, and it's like a 13/13 Urza.
Right. Or you just like Elish Norn, it's just like a bigger Elish Norn.
Yep. It's weird. Creates a token.
I mean, it's pretty good in Commander, right? Because you're going to get like 3 creatures off of this. This is for each opponent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you
So
create an
4
Urza
bodies.
token. You create only one token though. You just get a token that has power and toughness
Equal to all of them, yeah.
to
Yeah,
all.
you get a token for each opponent. So you make 3 dudes, and they're buffed equal to the total.
I think you only get one token still. It's just its total power is equal to like.
Oh wait, create a token's copy of one of those creatures. Oh yeah, that's dumb. So I only get 1 creature that's just big.
It's a big dude.
I don't know if that's worth 7 mana for a 7/8/1 big dude.
Yeah, cards kind of.
If it gave me 3 tokens,
yeah, I could see it, but
I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're in that deck with the where you could populate the token over and over.
Mm-hmm.
It's like okay. It's an okay Eldrazi.
7 mana is a little steep.
Next up, we got Bismuth Mindrender. 3 and a black for a 4/3 devoid of menace. What deals combat damage to a player, that player exile cards to the top of the library until they exile a non-land card. You may cast that card by paying life equal to the spell's mana value rather than paying its mana cost. That's cool.
Yeah, it's got menace, so it's hitting.
I should put that in my Jasper deck.
Definitely. Would you run this without like Jasper? Like I don't know. It's okay. It's fine.
I mean, it's a 4 for a 4/3 with menace, so it's a little bit easier to get in. But I mean, paying life to cast something for free is basically a free spell. Like,
Yeah, in Commander, 1,000%.
I mean, granted, you could. Oh, and it has to be non-land, so it's not like you
Yeah,
could live.
you're hitting something.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Yeah, 3 out of 5 stars. Move on to the Mutated Cultist. 2 and a black for a 1/3 Eldrazi Horror with the Void. When you cast this spell, remove all counters from up to one target permanent or opponent. The next spell you cast this turn costs 1 less to cast for each counter removed this way. Death Touch.
Sucks you can't choose yourself, so if you're about to die of poison, you still are about to die of poison.
But you
But
can choose Dark Depths.
yeah, it's the same as like Hex Mage in that case.
Same as Hex Mage, but say you had Dark Depths, you play this, you remove like 20 counters. Is it
Yeah,
20
it's
or
like
is it
10 or
10?
20 counters.
10, let's just say 10. Let's lowball it. You get 10 colorless mana and you just slam like an Ulamog.
Yeah.
So you have a 20/20 indestructible flying and a Ulamog and a 1/3 death touch. On turn 3.
Yeah, that's the high upside.
Yeah, that seems to.
But like the downside is to give nothing to do with the mana used on a 1/3 Death Toucher.
Yeah.
You remove a couple counters,
I don't
whatever.
know. Is that a legacy deck I just built?
Maybe.
Cube viable?
I mean, if you're moving off the counters from Dark Depths, also gives you a 20/20 or whatever with Fly.
Mm-hmm. No, you get
Yeah,
that.
Legacy Lands might play this.
Yeah.
Because like Turbo Depths is already a thing with like Hex Mage.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably put this in just to have another copy.
Another copy of Hex. Would you run like an Ulamog or some colorless thing that you can just slam out after the Mutated Cultist?
They probably would, yeah. They probably would.
Is that clogging up the deck a little bit too much?
I mean, I'm sure there's some colorless creature that you can pitch for something, right? Maybe they run that like one of the uncommons that you can cycle. I don't know.
Yeah. Seems
Or
hilarious.
just for the hell of it, try it. Maybe they run one or something.
Yeah, just to have the dream.
Yeah.
Turn 3, Ulamog, 20/20 flying instructor.
Next up, we got the Hideous Taskmaster. It is 6 in a red for a 7/2 Eldrazi with the Void. When you cast a spell, for each opponent gaining control of up to one target creature that player controls until end of turn, untap them, they gain Trample, Haste, Annihilator 1 until end of turn, and it itself has Trample, Haste, Annihilator 1.
That's pretty nuts. It's really good, actually.
I mean, yeah, you're basically going to be swinging for Annihilator 4 at people.
Mm-hmm. You threaten effect 3 threaten effects, which is pretty crazy. 1 card.
This is going to die because it's a 7/2 with the block.
Yeah. Yeah. But
the Trample, Haste, Annihilator on everything, so if it's something big, they're going to die. They're going to take a lot of damage. Could be a decent finisher, especially if they play something big.
Mm-hmm.
If someone has like a Blightsteel out, you just win.
Right. Usually with all threat and effects, you should win if they have a Blightsteel, but this seems fun. I like it. I don't know if it's cube viable, 1v1 viable. It's more of a commander card because you gain control each player. We'll move on to the Chittering Dispatcher. 2 and a green for a 2/3 Eldrazi drone with the Void. It has Myriad, and when it leaves the battlefield, create a spawn.
That's awesome. Like, because the Myriad tokens leave every time, so you're going to get a whole bunch of spawns.
Mm-hmm. Someone's usually going to be open, too, like, to attack.
Yeah. You just attack the open one with this.
Mm-hmm.
And you make a lot of spawns. It's a lot of ramp. Like, it's basically ramping you like 3 each turn if it sticks around.
Did we say doubling season? Plug it in.
Doubling season would be even nuts. You get 6. It'd be like turn 4, you'd have what, like 6, 7, 8, 9, like 10 mana, just like Ulamog or something.
Yeah, because the myriad copies even copy.
Mm-hmm.
Solid. 4 out of 5 stars. Commander.
Next up, we got a Zalask, the Swelling Scourge. It's a 3 mana 2/2 legendary creature, Eldrazi. Whenever it or another colorless creature you control dies, you get an experience counter. The experience counter stays in. And then you can pay Wooburg, so all 5 colors. Creatures you control get +X+X till the term, or X the number of experience counters you have. Scions and Spawns you control gain Indestructible and Annihilator 1 until end of turn.
Now, I've been waiting to make the experience counter deck. Here's
Now
the
you
final
can.
experience counter deck. It's pretty sick. So you run everything that talks about experience. The experience is one pool. They all share the same pool.
Yeah, and then just get a bunch of colorless creatures in there and make some, or you could make some Scions and Spawns.
Yeah, I don't even think you need like the colorless. You don't need to focus on that. Like your other experienced guys are going to get their experience in other ways.
I suppose. Yeah, you could do that.
Oh, it's interesting. You could build it multiple ways, yeah, but
It's also nice to have a 5-color colorless deck because you can just play all the best removal spells in your colorless deck.
colorless deck.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Like all your creatures would be colorless. It'd be a Wooburg deck, but seems good.
I see what you're saying, but it's a 5-color deck.
I mean, hey, like, because otherwise you play Eldrazi normally, it's like, okay, I can't play swords, I can't play, this you can. And you still can play all those Eldrazi that are colorless, so.
Yeah, you're just a 5-color deck.
Okay, but you don't have an Eldrazi as the commander normally.
That's true. That's
deck.
true. Here's
Unless you play,
another
like Morophon.
5-color colorless deck with
Yeah.
Ululek, Fused Atrocity. And he's got split colorless or Wooburg. So you can pay one of each color or colorless. It's a 2/5 legendary Eldrazi with Devoid. Whenever you cast an Eldrazi spell, you may pay 2 colorless. If you do, copy all spells you control. Then copy all other activated triggered abilities you control. You may choose new targets for the copies.
Yeah, so you just play an Eldrazi deck and then a lot of stuff that triggers.
Yeah. Well, Eldrazi usually have cast triggers and triggered abilities with Annihilator.
Well, right, but if you also just have something in play that triggers on cast too.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, even the new cards, like the ones like whenever you get to 4, 5, or 6, you just get like spawns. You can copy that, get more spawns.
Mm-hmm. Now this is the colorless but Wooburg deck.
Yeah, because you pretty much have to play Eldrazi.
You gotta play it, which are both colorless. Yeah. Yeah, I could see him being the helm just to be like, I want to be the Eldrazi, but I want all 5 colors, just because it's good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably going to be popular.
Probably. Next up, we got Conversion Apparatus. There's 3 mana for a artifact, mana rock. It taps for a colorless. Pay 3 tap it, get 3 energy. Or you could pay tap it and pay 3 energy to add 3 mana in any combination of colors.
3 mana rocks.
Yeah, it's a mana rock that you can like pay energy to filter manas. I guess you gain mana technically. But.
So it's like a slow. What is Thran Dynamo? I guess you like pay for 3, and then next turn you load it in, and then next turn after that.
Well, unless you already have energy, but yeah.
Yeah. So without being the energy,
except for Thran Dynamo can't tap for color. You just can't.
That's true. But then you can just run Gilded Lotus or whatever.
That's 5 though.
I don't know. Outside of an energy deck, this seems horrible.
Yeah, I'm not playing it outside of an energy deck because it's really slow. Yeah,
it's insane. So, one of those cards again. We'll move on to the Eldrazi Confluence. 2 colorless for an instant. Choose 3. You may choose the same mode more than once. Target creature gets +3, -3 until end of turn. Exile target non-land permanent, then return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. Or create a scion, not a spawn. They're just 1/1s instead of 0/1s.
Yep.
So it seems kind of like mediocre on each one, but it's colorless. So Tron would probably really like this. It's removal in Tron, right?
Yeah, I mean, +3, -3 is pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so 4 mana make 3 scions is
That's
okay.
probably the worst, I would say.
Flicker 3 things
Yeah, you'd want to try to build around that first.
and maybe kill 3 things or just swing with something huge. Because you could give something +9, -9.
True. I think it's decent.
It's okay, yeah.
Very playable. I
I
think
mean, it's better than some of them, right? Like some of the
yeah,
confluences are bad. Like it's
yeah.
playable confluence.
I think it looks more mediocre than it plays. Like it plays much better than it looks.
Yeah, because I mean, if you can hit like kill a creature, make 2/1/1s, it's not bad for 4 mana.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's pretty low floor, I'd
Yeah.
say.
Next up, we got Eldritch Immunity. So for a colorless, you can target creature you control gains protection from each color until end of turn. Or you can overload it for 4 in a colorless, and then all the creatures get protection from each color. Is this good enough to play in just a deck that could maybe add colorless off of Sol Ring?
Not off of just Soul Ring. No.
How many rocks do you have to have? Like, because a lot of people play like 5, 10 rocks.
They all need to be able to like, be talismans or be able to tap for colorless, not like a Felwar Stone, not like
Right. But it can protect your creature.
yeah, it's
Commander
good.
especially.
It's great in colorless decks,
Yeah,
1000%.
you're obviously playing
Amazing.
in that.
Yeah, I don't think you run this in 2-color decks. Maybe single color decks could like run it, but if you're single color, you might have better. Like in green, has much better protection spells.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're like red,
Yeah.
it's decent. You could play this. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll see how much play it gets, but it is cool that you can protect something for just a colorless.
And I'm not like hating I love this card design, like saying colorless, pumping up colorless or single color decks. Like I was saying before with the flip lands, like powering those up over 5-color good everything is
Mm-hmm.
just awesome design. Please more. All right, we'll go with Inversion Behemoth. 2 colorless for a 2/9 Eldrazi. At the beginning of combat on your turn, switch the power and toughness of each of any number of target creatures until end of turn.
Interesting. So I could have a 9/2.
Yeah, it's not you can't use this on walls because they'll die.
Yeah. I mean,
So
you could use it on like some of the toughness matters decks, but
I see what it is. It's an infected tree folk, right?
mhm. Yeah,
So it's
it's
a
like an
tree folk
Eldrazi tree folk thing.
guy. So in your tree folk deck, you got some, but you already run like Doran, which is like
Right. So like if I
better.
kill Doran, you have another way.
I don't know. Like Doran does those types of things. They have like
I mean, I guess it's good in that deck anyway because like it's a 2/9, right? So it swings as a 9/9 for 4,
yeah, yeah.
and you just don't even care about the ability.
The 2 colorless though.
Yeah.
I guess it'll
This,
get
this one is a real like you need to have a home for it. And you need to
yes,
want this.
yeah,
Like, this one is probably the worst of the colorless cards.
yes. This is a pretty bad card. I'm trying to make it work.
It's good in certain scenarios, but like it's only good in this specific scenario. So,
Yeah. All right. Rip.
next up, we got Selective Obliteration. 3 colorless. Each player chooses a color that exile each permanent unless it's colorless or it's the only color its controller chose. So hosts non-monocolored decks.
Yeah, which is awesome design. But do you run this in monocolored decks? No.
I mean, you might, but
This is great in colorless decks. Like I love my buddy's got a Karn
well,
deck.
right, yeah, you could in color in a monocolored maybe, but I mean, like it's good against like a
Mhm.
colorless deck you play, but if they're playing mono green, this would do nothing. So like,
Yeah.
or if like you play green white and they only have green out.
Yeah, it's
I feel like it has a lot of fail cases compared to where it's good. So even in a colorless deck, I would be like, is there something better here? Like I could
yeah,
just play Albion
yeah, it's not that
or
good.
something.
Like
It's
you
not
would
the
rather
greatest.
play Wrath in certain other situations.
Yeah.
Weird one. All right, we'll move on to Spawn Bed Protector. 7 mana, 6/8 for an Eldrazi. Beginning of your end step, return up to one target Eldrazi creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Create 2/1/1 Eldrazi Scions.
This card I think is really good because even if you can't return something, you still get 2/1/1s.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, that's the difference between Spawn and Scion, by the way. The Scion are 1/1s instead of 0/1s.
Mm-hmm. 7 mana though, so you're already up there. I don't know.
Yeah, but if you could cheat it out early or something, or like
Yeah,
you sacked a bunch of Scions or Spawn to get it out,
yeah. If you're playing the Eldrazi deck too, there is higher ones. There's 10 mana ones.
just
There's
being able to get an Eldrazi back every turn seems good
mm-hmm.
because they're going to want to kill your Eldrazi's.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's pretty good.
Good in the Eldrazi deck. Outside of it, probably not.
Yeah, you ain't playing it outside of an Eldrazi deck.
These cards are so specific.
Next up, we have the Stone Idol Generator. It's 5 mana. For whenever a creature you control attacks, you get an energy. Okay, so I can assume like 5 creatures get 5 energies. Tap, pay 6 energy, create a 6/12 colorless construct artifact creature token with trample. Activate only as a sorcery. So good in the energy decks. I don't know how good it is outside of energy decks because you got so much 6 things.
Yeah, outside just doing one per turn. We were talking about this before on the monocolor ones. There was like a 5 mana one that kind of
Well,
did this.
this is whenever a creature, so you could swing with
Yep.
6 creatures at once and get it.
Yes, that's true. But still creating one token per turn. Maybe if
Yeah,
you're the
it's not that
deck.
great. Yeah, at that point, you have 6/1/1s. You're probably ahead anyways. Like,
Yeah. It's
yeah,
5
it's only
mana.
good in the energy
These cards. All right.
deck.
Twins of Discord. 7 mana, 8/6 Eldrazi. Whenever you attack, choose odd or even. Creatures with mana value of that quality can't block this turn. Each colorless creature you control has Bloodthirst 2.
Yeah, because I need my big Eldrazi's to have Bloodthirst too.
Get bigger. Woohoo.
It's like, all right,
He
whatever.
doesn't
It's
need to
okay.
attack.
I mean, it does make it so half their stuff can't block. So
Mm-hmm. Which is decent.
it's an 8/6 for 7, which is not horrible.
Yeah, he doesn't need to attack for that ability to go off. It's just whenever you attack.
Yeah.
So it's okay. But colorless creatures, that's all it cares about. You only want this in the Eldrazi deck, and in that it's probably okay. 1 out of 5, 2 out of 5, maybe.
Next up, we got Ulamog's Dreadsire. 10 mana for a 10/10 Eldrazi with Vigilance. It has Ward, sacrifice a permanent with mana value 1 or greater. And it has Tap, make a 10/10 Eldrazi creature token.
We've seen this before.
We have?
The twin Eldrazi.
Oh, that just makes 2 10/10s when it comes in.
It doesn't tap and make.
No, it just makes a copy of itself.
Oh, so
This
this
you can keep doing.
going.
And it
Plus
has
it-
Vigilance, so you can swing with
yeah.
it first. And it has Ward.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's a little better than that.
Strict upgrade, I think.
Yeah, strict
Well,
upgrade.
the
I
other
mean,
one.
this again, you could play this in that populate deck and keep populating with 10-10.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This could be your high end card.
Yeah, this seems decent.
If you have ways to
3 out.
untap it, keep making 10-10s.
Yep. Yep. Seems interesting. Definitely one of the better Eldrazi's we've talked about lately. We'll move on to the Sunken Palace. It's a land and it's a cave. Remember those?
Oh, yeah, caves. That's another super type that we didn't remember.
True. Enters the battlefield tapped. Tap, add a blue. You can pay 1 in a blue and tap this, so technically 3 mana. Exile 7 cards from your graveyard. Add a blue. When you spend this mana to cast a spell or activate an ability, copy that spell or ability. You may choose new targets for the copy.
I mean, replacing an island, it seems okay.
That's pretty good.
Like, you give up a land coming in untapped just for a possible evader being able to copy something.
I'm thinking Demonic Tutor right away.
I mean, in South Mill, you probably get the 7 cards pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really good in that.
I wouldn't say threshold. I mean, I guess that's a lot of keywords going on.
Well, because you have to exile the 7 cards. It's not like you can keep doing it.
Yeah. Oh,
Doesn't
okay.
mean
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
lose
True.
threshold after
True.
you exile 7.
True. Yep. I see. Threshold is up to 7 though.
Threshold is just you have 7, yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking in like a Demonic Tutor, Thassa's Oracle, DC, super competitive EDH deck. Can you afford running a tap land in those decks? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe.
Finding 2 Demonic Tutors to find a 2-piece combo seems pretty fun.
Yeah. Which plays like Sidisi. So you know a bunch of cards.
Yeah,
You exile some.
I could see it. It's probably only happening once per game, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, is it good enough to replace a basic land to just maybe
Yeah.
one time a game you get this?
Tapped is pretty big. Maybe. I'd like to try it out.
Next up, we got the Horizon of Progress. It is a land with tap, pay a life, add 1 mana of any type that a land you control could produce. Okay. And then you can pay 3 tap it, put a land card from your hand on the battlefield tapped. Okay. And you can pay 1 tap it, sack it to draw a card.
So it's a Horizon land, but it's mana reflection.
And it's like Terran Generator.
Yeah. All in one card.
All in one card.
It seems okay. Mana reflection is okay because it can't be the first land you control, like
Yeah.
in Vintage Cube or like, Legacy or some fast formats. You really need that first land to tap for something. And this can't. But later on the game, it seems good.
I mean, even in Commander, just having the ability to pay 3, put a land in,
Yeah.
seems pretty good.
Yeah.
Because you can just hold your mana open, and
Mhm.
especially in like mono blue or something, you hold your
Mhm.
mana open, and they're like, okay, I didn't do anything, so I held up my counter spell. Now I just put a land in.
Yep. Or the failsafe draw card.
Yeah.
Solid land. I don't know how, like, 5 colors can't really fit many lands anymore. I would say 3 colors or less. At least 2 color pairings you could probably run this.
Yeah, especially like monocolor decks, I think that don't have ramp. This would be okay.
Yeah.
Mono white, mono blue,
Yeah.
mono red. Also, 2 colors of those combinations.
Mhm. All right, we'll move up to the Lazotep Quarry. It's a land. It's a desert. Another super type. Tab, add a colorless. Tap, sacrifice a creature, add 1 mana of any color. Or X2, tap, sacrifice a desert. Exile a creature card with mana value X from your graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. Activate only as a sorcery. So you can internalize anything. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
In the
reanimate.
desert deck, it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I mean, I guess if you want to sack another sack outlet, just sack a creature, add a mana. It's
That's
an
not
altar
too good.
land.
Because you're normally your mana fixing is pretty good. It's you shouldn't have to worry about that. The thing about a Phyrexian Tower is it adds 2, so it like nets
Well,
you.
right, but what's the artifact that adds one of any color? It's like Phyrexian Altar or something.
Hmm.
Because Ashmount Altars adds colorless. And the Phyrexian Altar adds mana of any color. And you can do it over and over. It's not tap.
Hmm.
But this is like that on a land.
I guess like it's still a sack outlet.
That's what I was saying. Like if you need a sack outlet,
Yeah, I run high market in a lot of decks. This could
right?
replace it. And you can sack this as the desert to just internalize something, your Archon of Cruelty or whatever.
You know, it's okay. I don't know. It's worth playing maybe in like black.
Yeah. You have to pay the full mana value in X plus 2 plus this desert.
Right. That's why I was thinking like if you just want another sack outlet in your deck, probably is where I would go. Or a desert deck. So being able to do that a bunch of times isn't that bad.
Mhm.
Especially if you have a bunch of mana.
It's a weird one. Probably not good enough, though. I don't know. It's interesting. Sack outlets are nice.
Next up, we got Planar Nexus. It is every non-basic land type, so it's all of those: desert, cave. Taps for the colorless, or you can pay one tap it, add a mana of any color.
Urza Tron lands. Let's go.
Well, don't those specifically say the name of the Tron though?
True.
So it doesn't really work with that. It works with like the Locust lands, like the
It
Cloud
works with
Posts.
that newest Urza Tron land. It's just
Oh yeah,
like
that's for each one. Yeah,
for each one. Okay. That I guess that's about it. Yeah.
you're probably only going to play this if you really need that first line of text. Otherwise, you'll be playing it. And that's the only reason it's rare is because of that first line of text. Like otherwise, this is like a common card.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sure, there's something we're missing here too, but it'll be a card to remember for later combos. That this is going to break things. Like 5 years from now, they're like, "Oh, we made another super type. Oh yeah, remember playing our Nexus? Crap."
Yeah.
Next, we'll move on to Talon Gates of Mandara. It's a land. It's a gate.
So
Enters
gate.
the field up to one target creature phases out. Tap, add a colorless, or one tap, add one mana of any color, or pay 4. Put Talon Gates of Mandara from your hand onto the battlefield. Now that's instant speed. You
Yeah,
can,
instant speed. You can play a land and make something phase out.
yeah, that is really good. You can save yourself, or it ramps you for the turn.
Yeah, you can just pay for ramp you.
This seems really good. Like,
Yeah, there's
really,
quite a few scenarios where it's good. I mean, or you just play it on your turn and phase something out, and
right,
then
right, yeah. Phase out a blocker. Now you can swing in.
yeah, it's pretty good. Pay
Can
for to
ramp
save a
you.
creature.
I think this is awesome.
It's a pretty cool land.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's good enough to go in every deck, but it's
Not
definitely a nice
every
land.
every deck, but I'm thinking Cube might even want this. I could see it.
Next up, we got Trench Post, which is another Locust land I was talking about. It's tap, add colorless, or pay 3 tap. Target player mills a card for each Locust land you control. Better in constructed because you can play like 4 color posts, but
Yeah, aren't Locust lands like banned everywhere?
not in Legacy.
No, in Legacy. Okay,
12 post is a thing still.
okay.
Now you can play more than 12 posts.
It's called 16 post.
Yeah, it was originally like 8 posts, and then it became 12 posts. And now it's what, 16 posts or something? 20 posts if you play that other land. 4 of those other lands to play
We're
on
playing our
Nexus.
Nexus. Let's go. Great. Funny. Well, that was all of them. We move on to our segments.
All right, we got segments. You want to go first?
All right, we'll do my combo. Since Assassin's Creed is coming out, we're going to be talking about an assassin. Ramses, Assassin Lord. He's kind of an old one. 2 blue, black for a legendary 4/4 human assassin. It's got Death Touch. Other assassins you control get +1/+1. But whenever a player loses the game, they were attacked this turn by an assassin you controlled. You win the game. Now we're going to combo this off with Door to Nothingness. 5 mana, enters battlefield tapped. You pay Wooburg twice, tap it, sacrifice Door to Nothingness. Target player loses the game, right? That artifact. You make someone lose, and as long as you've attacked with Ramses somewhere, you win the game. So instead of making one
Seems like
person,
a lot of work.
it's a lot of work. I'm not saying they're good combos. I'm saying they're jank combos. But hey, you're picking up Assassin's Creed cards. You're picking up Ramses. Think about Door to Nothingness.
All right, my crazy card this week is a crazed card called Crazed Firecat. It's 5 red for a cat that's a 4/4, and when it enters the battlefield, you flip a coin until you lose a flip, and you put a +1 counter on it for each flip that you want.
Ooh. Yeah, that's crazed. It could be infinite.
Yeah,
Infinitely
you could
huge.
just keep winning.
Just don't think
Especially
about
if you have like the other card, like whenever you flip, you get to flip again or whatever.
Carrick's thumb.
Mm.
Yeah. Or you just don't lose flips, dude. That could be a 25-25.
Yeah, for 7. That's why it's crazy.
It's crazed.
All right, that's our show for today. If you like any of these cards, you want to pick them up, please use our TCG Player affiliate link, which can be found in the show notes and on our website, mtgplace.net.
And you can help support the show at patreon.com. We have different tiers of involvement to get you different perks. Also, just come hang out with us by joining our Discord and talking with us.
Yeah, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe to be notified of all of our videos and podcasts when they're released. Thanks for listening. Goodbye, everybody.
Peace.